thanks everyone for coming over. I'm glad you could make it. We're going to talk about kind of a touchy subject for a few, for many people, and that's weight loss. And so we have a very special guest with us here today, Dr. Jamie McManus. Dr. Jamie is the Chairman of Medical Affairs for Shaklee Corporation and Health Sciences. So welcome, Dr. Jamie.
Thank you, Jane. It's nice to be here with everybody.
Thank you.
Hi.
So I don't know about you guys, but it seems like, do you notice in the news, like maybe you open up the newspaper in the morning or you see an article in a magazine or you're watching the nightly news, that they're talking about the increased rates of obesity and the number of people that are overweight. It seems like it's on a daily basis now.
Even in kids.
Even in kids, exactly. So it's become a real problem. So Dr. Jamie, maybe you could kind of give us this skinny on fat.
Well, Jane, I could talk for hours about this. It's unfortunately a huge topic, no pun intended. We really are very concerned from a medical standpoint. I mean, clearly there's lots of issues from just the self-esteem and body image, that kind of issues that go along with gaining weight and not feeling good about yourself, all the way to significant health challenges as well as the financial ramifications of those health challenges. I mean, clearly you look back just a short 25 years ago to the mid-1980s when about 1 out of every 3 Americans were overweight to obese, and the medical community was just starting to figure out that there was significant health challenges associated with being overweight to obese, and the higher your weight was, the higher your risk were for various health challenges, including heart disease, diabetes, stroke, arthritis, all sorts of health problems. Just 25 years later, I mean, you think how long humans have been on the planet here, and in just 25 years we have doubled the percentage of Americans that are overweight to obese. Now 2 out of every 3 Americans are overweight to obese, with about 40% being obese. And the health challenges and the financial ramifications of that are really of great concern.
So Dr. Jamie, it's a lot more now than just kind of fitting into your skinny jeans. I mean, there are some serious health implications that come with carrying all those extra pounds.
There really are. I mean, it's a gradual process. Obviously, we're not born overweight. Unfortunately, we're seeing it actually in children today as well. We're less active as a society, and we've kind of, I think, lost perspective on the size of people, the size of portions. I mean, it's really changed pretty dramatically in just a short time.
Well, I know that for myself, a couple of years ago, I lost some weight that I've been wanting to lose, but now I'm thinking, maybe can you give me the difference between being overweight and being obese? When do we step over that line? And I'm curious if I had stepped over that line.
Well, everybody may. We have some great success stories here with us today, but I mean, basically being overweight is, you look on the BMI charts, which are available pretty much anywhere, and if your BMI is over 25, then it's actually at 25, you are considered overweight. So 25 to 29. You hit the BMI mark of 30 and you're obese. You hit the BMI mark of 35 and you're morbidly obese, which means you have serious health challenges that are going to happen. It's not a matter of if, it's really a matter of when you get to the morbid obesity category.
How many people today are in that category?
Well, it's 2 out of every 3. I mean, we have 6 people sitting right here in the front part of the living room here, so that it's basically 2 out of every 3 Americans that are overweight to obese. So the 2 of you stand up and you can stay seated, and there's another 3 over here, and the 2 of you could stand up and you can stay seated. There we go. Now here we have 4 out of 6 people who are overweight. They're going to have some sort of health problem related to being overweight. And then maybe you can sit down and you can sit down, and then the 2 ladies here in the middle are the 1 out of every 3 Americans that, and actually a little bit higher than that because it's really 4 out of 10. It's really 40% of Americans who are obese and will have health problems that will be severe enough to actually be diseases that may limit their lives. Heart disease, diabetes, I mean, some serious health problems in the obesity category. So, but you guys look alive and well, so thank you for demonstrating that.
Dr. Jamie, you had touched on something just a little bit earlier where you said that we've kind of lost our perspective on what's normal anymore. So can you maybe remind us what normal sizes are and what normal portions are?
Yeah, absolutely. Well, we have a little demonstration here for you, and this will be pretty interesting, I think, for people, because I was kind of shocked when I looked at these. These are like, cola drinks from your typical convenience store, and what would anybody guess is this size here, the small size?
12 ounces?
Small.
12 ounces, yeah, so you'd think so. Can you remember when the small size was probably 8 ounces?
Right.
Yeah. Well, this is actually 20 ounces. Wow. Isn't that amazing? 20 ounces, and it has 240 calories. So it's like eating a donut or a pastry, and it has 76 grams of sugar. So it's just really quite amazing. But you dial it all the way up to this, monster drink here, which is 64 ounces. I mean, a lot of people drink these every afternoon. 64 ounces, like that's eight 8-ounce glasses. It's 218 grams of sugar and 768 calories. 768 calories as your little afternoon pick-me-up drink.
If you just added this to your diet, 4 of these in a week, you would gain a pound a week.
Wow.
And Dr. Jamie, a lot of times, I know I've made that mistake, is you kind of think if you drink it, it doesn't really count as part of, your diet.
Those calories don't count. You knew that, right?
Oh, right.
If you drink them, they don't count, right?
But that, and there are people who drink these every day. So 4 of these a week, you would gain a whole pound.
And you wonder why we're supersizing America, right? I mean, everywhere you go, they always want to say, well, but for just 50 cents more, you can have twice the size,
Oh, so they say that you are what you eat. So if you supersize, you become supersize. And if you jumbo, you become jumbo, right?
Exactly, right. How many people here have been on a diet? Yes. Pretty much everybody. How many people have been on more than 5 diets in their life? Well, there you go, see? Anybody been on more than 10 diets? No, see, we got a
Stop
pretty...
counting after a while.
Yeah, it's like Jane, have you been on more than 10
Well,
diets?
if you're on the same diet, you don't count it twice.
Oh,
if it has the same name.
It's that creative math again. Yes, I like that creative math, yeah. A lot of people are into that creative math. And, and I think that's been one of the insights that people are just starting to get a handle on, and in particular, kind of the medical and health and dietary community is just starting to get a handle on, is that if diets were really the solution, then why would we have seen these numbers, double in this last 25 years? Because think of all of the weight loss books and programs and services and experts and all of this advice out there and all these products out here, and yet the numbers are not going in the right direction. So clearly it would tell us that diets per se are not necessarily the solution, right?
Right, right.
And in fact, I would say to everyone here, and some of you have experienced this, that actually diets are part of the problem. And let me explain what I mean by that. When you go on a diet, you have to decrease your calories. Sadly enough, if you don't decrease your calories, you're not going to lose weight. There's no magic that we've determined yet. But when you decrease your calories, your body goes into something called the famine mode. Your body doesn't know how long you're going to have these decreased calorie intake, and so it wants to hold on to its energy sources to protect your body, your life, potentially. And so as a result of that, this famine mode actually directs your body to protect this dense energy source, which is your body fat. And so as a result of that, you actually will lose muscle mass along with some body fat when you're on the typical weight loss program. And as a result of that, you actually lower your metabolism. That's why people have plateaus. That's why people are on this, what we call this vicious cycle of yo-yo dieting, is that when you lose weight and you've dropped your muscle mass, you've dropped the number of calories you can burn per day, and that's your metabolism. Then you go back, you get tired of being on whatever diet you've been on, right? Grapefruit, popcorn, whatever,
She's on to us.
I've been watching, right? And then you go back to your old eating habits, which generally means you're going to increase your calories. And as a result of that, your body says, oh, you're feeding me again. It's now the feast mode. So we went from famine to feast. And literally that's where those terms come from, is from this cycle. And so with the feast mode, then your body packs back that weight back on. But do you regain the muscle mass that you lost? Unfortunately, you don't. You regain body fat. You're back to your overweight, state again for a lot of people, and they're on to the next weight loss program a few months or next year, next event that's happening, you're trying to lose the weight again. So you can imagine over time that your muscle mass keeps shrinking, your body fat keeps increasing, so you're burning less calories, it's easier to regain the weight, it's harder to lose the weight, it gets really frustrating for people.